Thank you so much for joining me today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. My pronouns are she and her, and this is a live class that we are practicing over Zoom today. If you are interested in getting that Zoom link and joining us, please message me down in the comments and let me know. I'll be more than happy to provide you that login information. So this is going to be a gentle, slow, restorative class. We're going to be careful with the fingers and hands tonight. We're going to work on some tension in the neck and in the back and take care of legs. We'll do a whole body thing today. So gather any props that you have, pillows, blankets, rolled up towels, bolster, blocks, whatever you might have handy that you think may be supportive for your practice. You never know when it might come in handy. And when I think something will come in handy, I will prompt you to let you know. So let's do something a little different. Let's go ahead and start today in child's pose. You can come to sit in hero's pose to start with, sitting with your sit bones on the heels. You can keep your legs parallel to one another, or you can bring the big toes together and take the knees as wide as the mat. Keeping your sit bones anchored down to the heels, go ahead and begin to just creepy crawl those fingers forward on the mat, keeping your hips anchored down. Stretch the hands out in front of you, and then go ahead and let the forearms be soft and come right on down to the mat. If your forehead does not comfortably reach the mat here, this might be a good place for a block. You can use it in the low, medium, or high setting. And let's just come into the present moment by taking 3 nice, big cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, maybe letting it go with an audible sigh. So nice big inhale through the nose, and then let it go out the mouth. 2 more times here. Maybe rock the forehead gently from side to side. Maybe make some little circles with the forehead in one direction and then the other. And then resume breathing through the nose if that's available to you. If you've got a cold or allergies or something, by all means, take care of yourself and breathe however you can get the air in your body. And let's just slow everything down. Coming to rest here in child's pose, Savasana in Sanskrit. To nurture the child within yourself. Taking care of yourself. And then go ahead and lift the hands, lift the head just enough to walk the right hand either to the right edge of the mat, or maybe on the edge of the mat or off the mat, wherever your hand comes naturally and comfortably. And then take the left hand right alongside, or maybe even on top of the right hand. And then settle the forehead back to the mat or block, or maybe to your left bicep here. Anchor that left sit bone back and get a nice stretch in the left side body. Breathing here. Pressing your sit bones towards the heels, lengthening through the left side body, expanding through the ribs. One more full breath here. And then lift the head and begin to walk the hands back through center. And then take the left hand to the edge of the mat, the side of the mat, or just off the mat. Bringing the right hand alongside the left or maybe on top of the left. And then settle back down into your child's pose, breathing into the right side body. Nice and slow breaths here. Expanding through the rib cage, anchoring that right sit bone down to the heels. Getting long, making space between the ribs. One more breath here. And then let's go ahead and walk back through center. Bring the legs to parallel if they're not already, and come into either hero's pose or to sit on a block or a cushion in easy pose, sukhasana, or maybe Savasana with one heel in towards the center and the other heel stacked in front. Let's rub the hands along the thighs here and just warm up the body. Maybe pressing the heels of the hands into the thighs, giving yourself a little bit of a massage here in the quadriceps. Just warming things up here. And then let's loop the shoulders up and back and down a couple of times. Just getting a little movement in the shoulders here. And then really anchor those shoulder blades down the back. Sit up nice and beautifully tall. Drawing the crown of the head up towards the sky. And let's go ahead and lift the arms out to the sides on an inhale, reaching up overhead, drawing the hands down to the heart as you exhale. And then let's interlace those fingers and push the insides of the hands out and away from the body. Just getting a little stretch across the top of the palms. Nice and gentle here, no need to strain. And then we'll inhale to lift the arms as high as your shoulders will comfortably allow. And exhale to break free and rain it down. Bring those hands back to heart center. Interlace the fingers in the opposite direction, bringing the opposite finger, opposite thumb on top. And then we'll very, very gently press the palms away, just getting a nice little stretch across the palms. Very, very gentle here. And then we'll inhale the arms up overhead as high as those shoulders will allow. And exhale to break free. And then let's go ahead and bring the chin down to the chest and get a nice little stretch in the back of the neck. You can have the fingertips out to the sides here or resting to thighs or knees. And let's just kind of organically find some movement in the neck here. Maybe rolling one ear and then the other to the shoulder. Maybe taking the gaze from side to side. Find what feels good in your neck today. Maybe you want to make some circles coming up through one side, bringing the head back just enough to keep the neck still safe, and then all the way around to the opposite side. So just let your neck be your teacher here, be your guide as to what it needs. And if you're making some circles when it feels right to you, go ahead and reverse those circles. Evening everything out. Might hear some little crunchies back there. That's totally normal. And then bring the chin back to the chest when you've had enough of that. And then inhale the head back to the top of the spine. Let's go ahead and take the hands and rub them together. Nice and gentle, just bringing a little bit of warmth and a little bit of heat to the hands. Let's draw them out in front of us. Flip the fingers up towards the sky. Maybe bring the fingers down towards the earth, giving them a little wiggle, kind of zombie hands here. Flipping them up, getting a little stretch on the underside of the forearms, and then flipping them down, getting a stretch in the top of the forearms. And just gently getting some movement in the fingers here as you go. And then we'll release the hands back to the thighs or the knees here. And let's get a little more movement in the neck today. Go ahead and jut your chin out as if you're kind of sliding your head back and forth on your neck. Really pressing back into the back of the skull, kind of trying to make a double chin here. And then draw the chin away like you're one of those Cro-Magnon pictures that we see in the history books. And just kind of back and forth, slide the head. Getting a little different movement in the neck here. And then let's bring one palm and then the other to the heart. Go ahead and lift the chin as you draw the heart space down with the hands. Be careful of the back of the neck here, but then allow yourself a little bit of gentle side movement. Getting up into the sides of the neck, maybe even feeling some sensation in the ears and the jaw. Maybe hearing some more snap, crackle, pops. Really drawing down as you pull away. Find a little organic movement that feels good to you here. We'll stay for one more breath. And then we'll release that down. And bring your fingertips behind you if you're sitting cross-legged and switch the cross of your legs. We're just going to be in our easy seated pose for a few more moments, but if this is becoming uncomfortable, definitely sit to a block or a cushion in hero's pose. Let's take those right fingertips out to the side. And again, just kind of creepy crawl them away until the palm rests comfortably to the mat. Let's inhale those left fingertips up to the sky. Straight up and down here on the left side body, really pressing that left sit bone into the earth as you reach up towards the sky with the fingertips. Inhale here, and as you exhale, maybe bend the right elbow and draw the left fingertips over to the right side. Breathing into that left side body. Next time you inhale, go ahead and bring the fingertips back up to the sky and let them settle down to the earth. And then we'll creepy crawl those left fingertips out until the palm comes comfortably to the earth. Inhale those right fingertips up, straight up towards the sky, getting nice and long through the right side body. And as you exhale, go ahead and come on over toward the left, really keeping both sit bones evenly anchored to your mat. Inhale here. stay for the exhale, and then inhale the fingertips back up to the sky and down to the earth. And then let's just find a little side to side here. Nice and slow and fluid, going first over to the right side. And then maybe windmilling the arms to come over to the left side. Nice and fluid and graceful. I don't know about you, but sometimes we get in such a hurry that we get a little accident prone, or maybe we've been called accident prone or klutzes when we were kids. But here you can be graceful and beautiful and soft, like a ballerina or a butterfly, just back and forth. Nice and fluid movement, moving with your breath. One more time to each side here. And then we'll inhale both arms up to the sky, coming into our victorious pose. Beautiful spine, length through the arms, rotating those pinkies in towards one another, making space in between the shoulder blades. Let's inhale here and exhale to draw the right arm across the heart and hug it in towards the chest with the left hand. And if you're not on the same side as me, that's okay. Just do the opposite side the next time. But we'll hug one arm in, getting a nice stretch. Really draw the shoulders away from the ears and draw the crown of the head up towards the sky so you've got lots of space there in the neck. Inhale here into the back body, expanding through the shoulder blades. Exhale to release. Inhale back up to victorious pose, and exhale to draw the left arm or the opposite arm in towards the heart, cradling it in, hugging it in with the right hand here. Again, drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears, the crown up towards the sky, and really breathing into those shoulder blades. I've been reading a book called Breathe, and there was a woman in the 1800s who had horrible scoliosis and actually cured herself with the breath by expanding into the ribs, expanding into the spine, stretching everything out. She started a school. She invited lots of people to come. She helped many people. But wouldn't you know it, the people in power that weren't making any money accused her of being a charlatan and shut her down. So, but that does show the power of the breath. It is well documented. One more breath here. Let's inhale back up to our victorious pose. And let's exhale, hands together and down to the heart. Let's go ahead and send the legs out long. Maybe shake them out here because we've been kind of closed in, crossed up for a while. Maybe rotate the ankles in one direction and then the other. And let's go ahead and draw the right knee up towards the sky, bringing the sole of the right foot to the earth here, and just give it a little hug inward. You can keep the leg here, or you can cross it over the left leg, bringing the sole of the foot to the mat outside the left thigh. We're gonna inhale here, lifting the heart, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. And then let's reach that left arm up towards the sky. Inhale here, and as you exhale, swim that right hand around behind you and bring the back of the left arm to the top of the right knee. or the top of the right thigh. If that's not comfortable for you, you can just hug the right knee in with the left arm, or you can bring the back of the left arm to the top of that leg, whatever feels good to you. And we'll find a gentle twist here, maybe looking back over that right shoulder. Breathing length into the spine. Softening with every exhale. Drawing that right shoulder away from the right ear. Making space here in the spine. One more inhale here. And then we'll exhale to unwind and come back to center, releasing that right leg. And then let's do the same thing with the left leg, drawing the knee up, hugging it in, bringing the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right leg. Either staying here, or if you find that it's deeper and comfortable for you, you can bring the sole of the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Hug that in there. We'll inhale the right fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, either hugging that left knee in or bringing the left hand down by the left hip and bringing the back of the right arm to the top of the left thigh. And finding your twist here. Really use that leverage of the right arm pressing into the left leg to get into your twist, not beyond a point of pain, but just until it feels good in that right shoulder, maybe in the left shoulder. Maybe you notice a little stretch in the neck here. Breathing space here. Couple more breaths, inhaling length, tucking the chin, lifting the heart. Exhaling softness, or to twist any amount more. Find your last inhale here, and then we'll exhale to unwind. Letting those legs come out long, maybe shaking them out a little bit, maybe windshield wiping the feet from side to side. And then let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together, coming into butterfly pose. And just allow the knees to open here. This is a great place for blocks. If this is hard on the inner thighs here for you, to give yourself a little support, or you could put some rolled up pillows or blankets or towels or whatever you have handy in your house here. You can hold on to your ankles, or maybe you want to interlace your fingers and wrap them around the ends of your toes. But do find that nice lifted heart here, pressing into the sit bones. And let's find a little spinal flexion here. So we'll do a little seated cat-cow. Let's inhale, lifting the heart, gently looking up towards the sky and arching the back. And then exhale, drawing the chin towards the chest and the belly button to the spine, getting a nice big stretch across the back body. Inhale into your cow pose. And exhale back into your cat pose. Really getting into that stretch here. Find two more each, cat, cow, bovine, feline. And the next time you inhale here, we'll come back into a nice tall spine. And then let's make some little circles. We'll just stir it up. Inhaling in the front, exhaling through the right and back into cat. Inhaling up through the left and back to cow. Just kind of around and around. And again, it doesn't matter if you're going left or right first, because we're just gonna reverse the circles. And maybe think about making cookies, and when you scrape the mixing bowl with the spatula, you scrape as much of that cookie dough out as you possibly can so you can lick the spatula, obviously. So think about scraping the bowl with the spatula. You want to get every last little bit. And when you're ready, go ahead and reverse those circles if you haven't already. Just letting the shoulders and the neck get involved. Just stirring it all up, getting it all out. Find 2 more circles in this direction. And when you have wrung everything you can out of that, go ahead and inhale yourself back up to a nice tall spine. And then we're going to take the fingers here and just gently give ourselves a little bit of a massage. You can massage in the calves, the ankles, the feet. If you're a runner, you might want to take your fingertips and massage alongside the shins. That's a really hard place to stretch. So, and I know when I used to do a lot of walking on concrete and that kind of thing, I would get shin splints an awful lot. So get into that, any of those areas here that you think might benefit from a little bit of a massage. And just show yourself a little self-care here, allowing yourself to be your own healer. Maybe getting down into the arches of the feet or in the ball joints underneath the toes. Maybe even allowing the back to round a little bit, getting more of a stretch in the low back as you continue to squeeze the toes. Just for a couple, 3 more breaths here, just explore and be curious about what's going on here in your body. You may find areas of tenderness that you didn't even know you had, maybe in the tops of the feet. But just like difficult conversations or conversations that are high emotion, we tend to shy away from those things, but instead of shying away from the tender spots, let's embrace them and bring them an open heart and a sense of love. And then we'll go ahead and come back to our nice tall spine. Let's inhale, rolling the shoulders up and looping them back a couple of times here. And then let's get into the hips a little bit and come into Pigeon Pose. So there are lots of ways to come into Pigeon Pose. You can start out here in tabletop, or you can simply bring the right foot to the top of the mat and lay the right leg down. I like coming in through tabletop, but if it's difficult on your wrists, you might like laying the leg down instead. But if you stretch that right leg out first, getting nice and long across the front of the hip here, then you can draw the right knee all the way up towards the right wrist, and then come to the fingertips and slide that left leg back, so that we're in Pigeon Pose. So the left leg is straight behind you, parallel with the mat. The heel of the right foot is kind of near the left hip flexor in the groin area. If you're super flexible, you could even have it parallel with the front of the mat. I am not that flexible. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can take a block or a cushion or a blanket or rolled up towel and just tuck it right in under that right sit bone to level out your hips. So find that place where you feel supported, really getting into that hip here in this nice juicy pigeon pose. You can stay here, and this is pigeon pose because the chest is puffed forward. So our heart is lifted, our chin is tucked, the shoulder blades are down the back. And from here, if you like, you can come down to the forearms. Just really settling in here. Maybe finding a little movement in the neck while you're here. You could bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, prayer position, and rest your forehead right to your thumbs, to your third eye area. Or you might find a child's pose position in the upper body, stretching the arms out long and bringing the forehead to the mat or to a block. So whatever feels good for you, find that place where you can settle in. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, notice where you can release some tension. Take a little scan of your body, scanning the left leg and the left hip and the back body and the right leg and the shoulders, the jaw, and see where you can soften and let go and relax and just settle in. You might notice the beat of your heart against your leg as you're reclined across that right leg. You might notice how the back body expands with every inhale. And you might notice a new place where you can soften as you exhale. Find 3 full breaths here. Softening. The next time you inhale, go ahead and start to come back up to vertical, pressing into the palms or the fingertips here. If you want to get a little deeper into that left hip flexor, into the top of the left thigh, the quadricep, you could bend the left leg and bring the heel towards the sit bone. And if you want to go even deeper, you can plant that right hand on the mat, anchored right next to that right leg, and swim that left hand back around to reach for the left foot or the left ankle here. Really getting deep into the top of that left thigh. If that's not for you today, no problem. Just stay in your half pigeon pose, but maybe see, you might look at this and think, oh no, I can't do that, but you may surprise yourself and find that you can, or you might just get kind of close. Then we'll come back to center and we'll send that right leg back into our tabletop position. Stretch that left foot out behind you and then draw the left knee towards the left wrist, coming into pigeon on the second side. And you can kind of wiggle that left foot around until you find a comfortable place for it to hang out. Again, I tend to have it kind of right here near my hip flexor. If you want to go a little deeper, you can send it out a little closer to parallel with the front of the mat. That back leg, the right leg, is straight behind you here. Really puffing up like a pigeon here in your pigeon pose. Inhaling here, and then seeing what is comfortable on the left side body. Maybe coming into Sphinx pose with the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Maybe staying here and find some nice juicy movement in the neck. Maybe bringing hands to prayer position or stacking one hand on top of the other and bringing the forehead to the back of the hands. Or maybe stretching out long into child's pose and maybe wiggling a little bit in here so that you can settle in and find a position that feels good in your hips. Maybe tucking a block or a blanket underneath the left sit bone here for some extra support. And just settling in, softening. Softening the jaw, softening the shoulders and the arms. Allow the right leg to be nice and soft and relaxed, letting go of all tension. And once you've found that nice supportive position where you can be still, find 3 more full breaths here. Expanding as you inhale, softening as you exhale. And then we'll go ahead and inhale and begin to walk ourselves back up to our little pigeon pose, pressing the palms or the fingertips in the earth and letting your chest be lifted and proud here. If you want that deeper stretch, you can just start by drawing the right heel towards the right sit bone. Maybe it doesn't go very high, but you'll still get a little bit more of a stretch in the front of the quadricep. Or you can anchor that left palm to the mat right in front of the left leg and swim that right hand back and either bring the hand to the outside of the foot or the inside to the ankle, the top of the foot, whatever feels good for you here. Just getting a nice stretch, maybe surprising yourself by what you can do, or maybe saying, yep, I thought I couldn't reach it, and letting it go. Still cool, still yoga. One more breath here, and then we'll release the right leg down nice and gentle, and then we'll just swing it out in front of us, coming back to Dandasana. Let's shake those legs out again. And then let's bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Kind of center yourself on the mat here and bring the hands to the backs of the thighs or the fronts of the shins, and just slowly, slowly, slowly bring the spine down to your mat, 1 vertebra at a time. And when you get all the way there, bring one knee and then the other in towards the heart and hug them in. Rocking a little from side to side, maybe rotating the ankles in one direction and then the other. And then let's go ahead and spread the arms out wide into a T. Palms can be facing up or facing down. And we're just going to kind of rock from side to side, keeping the legs parallel, hugging the knees in towards one another. You may just rock from side to side, keeping the knees pretty high up off the floor, or you might want to draw the knees all the way over to the right, and then back to center, and then all the way over to the left. Or you may want to bring them all the way to the floor, allowing the knees to come all the way to the earth and staying here. The knees might be in close towards the heart, or you might want to send them away a little bit. Notice how that changes the feeling in the left hip. You may want to extend that top left leg, straightening it out, getting a different kind of stretch in the left side body. You might even take that yogic toe lock and wrap your middle and index finger around that left big toe here. I'm just kind of holding on to mine because I'm still wearing socks. Just find a nice position here that feels good in the left hip. Lots and lots of options here. You could also have a blanket or a block underneath the knees as well. When you're ready to come out, go ahead and release that left toe if you've got it. Restack those hips. Inhale here. Exhale to draw the belly button in towards the spine so that on an inhale, you can bring the knees back through center. And then exhale them all the way over to the left. Maybe looking out over that right palm or right shoulder here. Maybe turning the palms up if you had them down the first side, or turning them down if you had them up the first side, and seeing how that changes things. Play a little bit with how close the knees are to the chest, and maybe extend that right leg straight and take that yogi toe lock here. And notice how that changes the stretch. You might feel more of a stretch in the outside of the calf. You might get a little deeper into that IT band along the outside of the thigh. Take a couple more breaths wherever you are. And then we'll restack the legs. Inhale here. Stay for that exhale so that you can engage the core to support the back as you inhale the knees back up to center, hugging them in towards the chest, maybe inviting the nose to the knees, realigning the hips and the spine and the neck here. And then let's go ahead and bring the feet back down to the earth, pointing the knees up towards the sky. Go ahead and windshield wiper the knees a little bit from side to side. And the next time you bring the knees over towards the left, you'll notice that the right sit bone kind of comes up off the mat a little bit. Take your right hand and tuck it right underneath that right sit bone, right underneath the buttock, palm facing down. And then as you windshield wiper the knees over towards the right, you'll notice you're sitting on your hand. You can then draw that left hand underneath the left sit bone and then settle nice and evenly, sitting on the backs of the hands or maybe on the wrists here. So you're not sitting on the fingers, but you're kind of pressing your weight down into your palms and letting your hands get a nice little stretch and a nice little massage on the back of the hands. Let's go ahead and stretch the legs out long. We'll come into fish pose, one of my favorite poses, and the Sanskrit name for that is Matsyasana. I love that. And we're gonna press the balls of the feet away, just like we're trying to make high heel shoe feet or Barbie feet. And we'll fan those toes apart, press into the backs of the arms, and lift the head, lift the heart, look at the toes, snuggle those elbows up underneath you, and then allow the back of the head, the top of the head to come to the mat behind you so that you're lifting your heart up towards the sky and squeezing out all the tension in the shoulder blades behind you. The throat is nice and open here, coming into your authentic self. The heart is nice and open here, open to love. If I was there in person and you gave me permission to touch you, I would interlace my fingers underneath your shoulder blades and really lift that heart up towards the sky. Let's stay here for 3 full breaths. Again, finding softness where you can, noticing where you're gripping or holding tension that's really not serving you and allowing it to go. One last breath here. And then just go ahead and slide the back of the head on the mat until it comes all the way down. Release the arms from underneath the body. Open up the palms towards the sky. Take the left foot towards the left bottom corner of the mat and the right foot towards the right bottom corner of the mat, and come into your Savasana here. Corpse pose. And give yourself permission to rest. Let's find some nice, relaxing breaths here. Just notice how long it takes you to inhale, kind of counting in your head. Maybe it takes you 4 beats, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you exhale, match the number of beats to your inhale. So if you're inhaling for 4, exhale for 4. Do that a couple of times, and then the next time you inhale, add 1 extra beat. So if you're inhaling for 4, exhale for 5. Maybe add 1 more beat to that exhale. So if you're inhaling for 4, exhale for 6. Allowing the nervous system to calm down. Allowing your body to come into the parasympathetic nervous system where we can relax, we can restore, we can heal, we can rest, we can digest. And let's just find some silent stillness here. We won't be here much longer, just for 3 more breaths. When you found those 3 breaths, go ahead and start finding a little movement, wiggling the toes, and then wiggling the fingers, maybe rotating the ankles and the wrists in one direction and then the other. And then inhale, nice and long, full body stretch here, nice good morning stretch. Maybe stretching long through the right side body and then stretching long through the left side body as if you're kind of climbing a ladder here. And then you can either roll to one side or the other, whichever serves you best, and come into a nice little fetal position. Or you can draw the knees in towards the heart, bring the hands to the backs of the thighs, and rock and roll up that spine, giving yourself a nice little massage across the back body here. Just letting it feel good and letting it be kind of fun. And when you've had enough of that, you can go ahead and press yourself back up to a seat. Either coming into cross-legged pose or maybe sending out the legs long in Dandasana, staff pose. Wherever you find yourself, go ahead and reestablish that nice, long, beautiful, tall spine that you have. And then bring the fingertips out to the sides, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Take 1 more full breath here. And then we'll inhale the arms up alongside the ears, bring the palms together, and exhale, hands to heart. May you find peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your hearts. Namaste.